Yeah, so we stayed at the beach for a week, and this kind of ties into my topic today because while I was on vacation, I did put on a few pounds. Naturally, we all do usually, and but I don't freak out a bit about it like I used to. I would. Worry the whole time. I wasn't really able to enjoy vacation because I would either worry if I was on a diet, I would worry about, being able to stay on my plan. If I wasn't on a diet, I'd worry about how much weight I would gain. And now I've learned so much about the body and how food works and just how to, um, create a healthy lifestyle and not be so rigid and not be so worried about gaining a few pounds. So that's kind of what I want to talk about. And, um, I know that indulging in food, more processed food, for a week on vacation is not going to make or break my healthy lifestyle. It's not, 1 week of doing something different is not going to, um, you know, make me not healthy, or 1 week of eating healthy is not going to just make me all of a sudden healthy. So it's really what you do after you get back, like enjoy yourself. And then when you get back, just make sure you get back to your normal plan. And that's what I do. I don't freak out about it. Um, I may eat some healthy meals here and there, and I may not. Like, I just don't stress about it like I used to. And I really just try to be in the moment and enjoy my vacation because I know if I get back home and I get back on my 80-20 lifestyle, then everything's going to be fine. I usually end up losing the weight that I've gained within a week. My blood sugar usually stabilizes within 2 or 3 days of getting back and back into my routine. So I just don't stress about it like I used to. Um, and everything usually goes back to normal. So, how do I know this? How do I know that, um, you know, just enjoying myself and then getting back on track? How do I know? Um, how do I know it's all going to go back to normal? Because there is a difference between gaining weight and gaining fat. So I want to break that down today so you understand the difference. So when you say weight loss refers to a decrease in your overall body weight. It could be from muscle, from water, or from fat. So weight loss is all three of those things combined. It's an overall body weight reduction from muscle, water, and fat. And this is not always a good thing, especially when it comes to losing too much muscle. Because when we lose weight in the form of muscle loss, this decreases your metabolism and it makes it harder to lose fat or to keep fat off. And we also don't want to lose too much water where we become dehydrated. But on the other hand, if we are carrying a lot of extra inflammation, that can show up on the scale as water weight also. So it's kind of like when weight loss is your goal, you don't really know where it's coming from. You don't know whether you're losing water weight, muscle, or fat. And for me, this is exactly what my weight gain was from last week because I was eating a more inflammatory diet on my vacation. So I knew that most of the weight that I had gained, and I think I gained about 5 or 6 pounds, most of it was water weight because I was eating more. I was eating out more than I usually do. I don't usually eat out a lot. I was having alcohol. I was just eating more processed foods than I normally do. And so I gained some inflammation. And I knew that. I knew that that's what it was. So let's talk about, now that you know what weight loss is, let's talk about fat loss. So fat loss refers to weight loss just from fat alone. And this is a more specific and healthful goal than weight loss. And so, how do you know if you're losing weight from fat, muscle, or inflammation? So, most people track their weight on a scale, right? Um, and the problem with this is most scales don't differentiate between fat loss, muscle loss, and water loss. So, um, two better ways of measuring your progress um, are inches lost, like measuring inches lost using like a tape measure, or you can start noticing how your clothes are fitting. And if you're losing inches around your waist, your butt, or your thighs, this most likely is fat loss because this is where we tend to carry our fat. And if you're losing weight, if you start noticing you're losing weight like in your arms or your lower legs and your like ankles and um, like your hands look thinner, or your neck or your face, this can be inflammation that you're losing. And then like inflammation in your hands, in your face, in your wrists and ankles, that normally is like inflammation that you're losing, like water weight. And then the muscle loss, if you're losing significant inches like in your legs, not your thighs so much, but like your lower legs, a lot of times this is muscle loss. And also like right here in your upper arms, that's muscle loss, and you don't want that. Um, so so you can, instead of using the scale, when you don't know what you're losing with the scale, you could take measurements or see how your clothes are fitting. If your waist is going down and your pants are fitting looser, then that means you're probably losing fat in your waist. And and so this is why when we start diets and weight loss programs, we tend to drop a lot of weight the first week or two. Have you ever noticed that? Like you'll drop several pounds the first week or two, and then it'll slow down and you'll lose like a half a pound, maybe 2 pounds. But it slows way down after the first couple weeks. And this is because you're the first couple weeks you're just losing water weight. You're losing inflammation from changing what you're eating. Like if you were eating a more processed diet with more inflammatory processed foods, and then now you're eating more whole foods, then you're going to lose that inflammation. So you may lose 5 pounds in a week because you've lost all that inflammation, and you'll be able to see it like in your face and in your hands. Your fingers will look smaller. I noticed when I started losing my inflammation, like after I stopped eating all the sugar every day, I noticed it a lot here in my face because my face was more puffy. And so that's where I noticed my inflammation going down. Um, and then, so after the first couple weeks of a diet, then you start getting into the fat loss or muscle loss, depending on what kind of plan that you choose. So something like Weight Watchers, you're going to lose a little bit of everything because you're not. That plan is kind of like a more balanced plan. So you're not trying to build muscle, you're not trying to lose fat, you're losing weight on a Weight Watchers plan. So you're losing a little bit of fat, a little bit of muscle, and a little bit of water weight, inflammation on that kind of plan. But then if you choose some kind of plan where you want to build muscle, where you're that's your goal, is to build muscle, and you're eating more protein, you're eating lower carb, you're building muscle like with resistance training, then you're going to lose fat, but you're going to gain muscle. So it all depends on what kind of plan that you choose and what your goals are. Um, so it all depends on that, like whatever your goals are. If your goal is fat loss and to gain muscle, then you need to choose accordingly, choose a good plan for that. If you're just wanting regular weight loss so you look better in your clothes and you feel better, then a Weight Watchers or something like that would be something you could choose. But me, I'm not into like following diets. I like more personalized approach. I like to personalize your approach based on your personal goals. That's how I do it. But I'm just giving you examples just so you understand what I'm talking about. Because we're talking about the difference between losing weight and losing fat. So I hope this is making sense. Let me know in the comments if this makes sense, if you have any questions about what I just talked about. So let's see. I've got some notes here, so let me look. I don't want to miss anything. Did that. Okay. So yeah, I talked about the different diets. Okay, so if your goal is fat loss and not just overall weight loss, you have to be eating enough protein to avoid muscle loss. And at the same time, you have to watch your carb and your fat intake so you can get into a fat burning mode. So that's if your goal is to gain muscle and lose fat. And that doesn't mean eating zero fat or zero carbs. It just means you need to know how many carbs and how much fat you can have and still lose weight. That is what you have to figure out. And you can figure that out, like a rough estimate of that, by using like a food tracker, like MyFitnessPal, or like looking up, Googling a macro calculator. And that will give you kind of a rough estimate, but it won't be, so that's like if you have like 50 pounds or more to lose, you can probably use that and see some weight loss or some fat loss. But if you are at, like, you only need to lose like 10 or 15, 20 pounds, then you may need a more personalized macro breakdown, because you're going to need more individualized, a more individualized approach to get those last few pounds off. And that's what I offer my clients. We personalize your macros based on your lifestyle, your preferences, your goals, and all that kind of stuff. So then that we can really get you into like a fat burning phase, a fat burning mode based on your personal preferences. And yeah, so that's called a macronutrient breakdown. So it's carbs, fat, and protein. So we can base that on your lifestyle and your goals. And if you're interested in that, you can just put macros in the comments, and I can send you more information on my program about that. I do have a couple of different options if you wanted to find out more information on that, you can just put macros in the comments. Um, so I have one more tip for losing fat. And that is to exercise. And I know that you've heard this before. You've heard, oh, exercise to lose fat. But I want to explain it the way I think about it and the way that really helped me when I was getting healthy and like changing the way I exercised and everything. So I don't want you to think of exercising to burn calories. That's not why we should be exercising. And that's how I used to think about it. I want you to think about exercising to gain and maintain muscle. That's why we should be exercising. Not to burn off what we ate, not to burn calories, but to gain muscle and to maintain our muscle. When we maintain a certain amount of muscle, this in turn raises our metabolism and it helps us burn more calories even when we're sitting still. So naturally, if you have more muscle, you're going to be burning more calories sitting still than someone with not much muscle. And when we maintain a certain amount of muscle, this in turn raises our metabolism. Oh, I said that. And this was one of the biggest mindset shifts that I had to make because I used to be a cardio queen. I was all about running and just trying to burn calories and burn off the sugar that I was eating. But when I started actually like getting healthy and not eating the sugar and all that, I started learning that actually I needed to be focusing on maintaining my muscle and building my muscle, especially as I get older, because we lose muscle faster when as we age. We lose muscle faster and it gets harder to maintain that muscle. And if you don't have enough muscle as you age, that's when you start getting into weak bones, being fragile. When you fall, you're breaking bones and you're not able to recover. When you do have a fall or you have some kind of surgery, if you don't have enough muscle, you're not going to be able to recover. A lot of older people don't have the muscle tone to recover from their injuries. So you have to keep that in mind too. And then another thing with focusing on building muscle and maintaining muscle is that helps your body keep your blood sugar more stable. So when you have more muscle and you're eating enough protein, you can keep your blood sugar more balanced. So this is great for diabetics, pre-diabetics, if you focus on maintaining that muscle and building muscle. So now that I have more muscle than I used to and I focus on lifting weights and I don't do as much cardio as I used to, I can now eat sugar or like a more high carb meal and my blood sugar stays more stable because I maintain my enough muscle for me. So I noticed that like when I had less muscle, my blood sugar would go higher. But now that I have more muscle on my body, when I do eat a higher carb meal, my blood sugar doesn't go as high. So that's another tip for you. So I hope this is making sense. I'm sorry, y'all. I've had to look at my notes a little more today, just so I don't miss anything. I don't want to forget to tell you guys anything. So anyway, let's recap what I talked about. So weight loss refers to a decrease in your overall body weight, and fat loss refers to weight loss that occurs specifically from a loss of fat mass. And fat loss should be the priority because when you lose fat, it gets you closer to optimal health. And that's what we all want, right? We want to be as healthy as we can be. So when you start losing muscle, it decreases your overall health by putting you at risk for hormonal imbalances and other health issues. When you don't have enough muscle, when you lose too much muscle, this this makes you more susceptible to health issues and hormonal imbalances. And then when you go too long with these hormonal imbalances, then you'll start having a lot of symptoms. You'll start being diagnosed with more health issues. So this is why we want to focus on fat loss and not weight loss. And so you can prioritize fat loss by eating plenty of protein, focusing on exercise that builds and maintains muscle, and also by eating a more whole foods diet and less processed foods. So that's how you can prioritize fat loss. Um, and I know most of you have heard these strategies before, but I know, but if you want to figure out like why you aren't able to stick, like I know you've heard these things and I know that you're like, okay, I've tried all these things before, but I couldn't stick with it, is what I'm trying to say. Um, then that's when we need to figure out why you can't stick to it. Do you have an addiction to a certain food? Do you have habits? Do you need like help with habit change? Because I had both of those things. I had an addiction to sugar that led me to being diabetic and having high blood sugar. And I tried several times. I mean, you guys know my story. I tried several times to stop my sugar addiction, but my habits were so strong that I had to figure out some strategies to change my habits. So that's what I help people with. That's what I help women with every day. Um, we deal with why you can't stick to a diet. Why a lot of times it is that you are addicted. A lot of times you have these health issues because you are addicted to a certain type of food. And it's just from a habit that you may have had since childhood, or from a young age. And it's just the longer you do these habits, the harder it is to change. And so a lot of times we need help with this. We need support. We need accountability. So that's what I help women with. We work on habit change and changing your mindset and stopping the emotional eating and all that kind of stuff. And then you're able to stick to a healthy lifestyle. And I'm not saying that you can't indulge and you can't eat your favorite foods and everything like that. You guys know that I do that. Um, I enjoy my favorite foods still, but when you can make these changes and stop the emotional eating and learn these habit changing strategies, and really work on them and have support and accountability, then you can switch back and forth very easily and not have to feel like like you have no control when you're around these foods, because that's how I was when I was just trying different diets and I was yo-yo dieting. But now I feel very in control because I've used these same strategies that I teach my clients. I use them myself. That's how I got myself healthy. That's how I reversed my diabetes. That's how I balanced my blood sugar and lost weight and all these things. Um, by using these strategies. And now, when I am at a birthday party or at a party or on vacation, I can feel in control around these foods and make a conscious decision to, do I want that cake? Do I want that pizza? Or do I not? And I feel very in control. And I think that's the goal that everyone is looking for. You want to be able to have these foods and you want to be able to enjoy them like everyone else. but you don't want to feel out of control. Or when you go on vacation for a week, you don't want to feel like you can't get back on your plan. You want to feel in control enough to, okay, I indulged and now I'm getting back on plan. And that's what I teach you. That's what I teach the women that I work with. So if that sounds interesting to you, let me know. I want to help you with this. So leave me a comment, DM me, and I will get you more information on my coaching programs. And it's just information. If you look at it and you're not interested or you don't think it's for you, I won't bother you. But if you are interested in finding out more about my programs and what we do and what we cover in that, then I can DM you the information. So just let me know in the comments. You can put health in the comments if you're interested in learning more about my program, and I will DM you that, and then you can decide whether you want to have a conversation with me or you have any questions or anything like that. So anyways, guys, I hope this made sense. Let me know. And again, let me know if you have any topics you want me to cover on my Tuesday lives. And I will see you guys next week with a new video. Bye.